Hey, Brittany.
Hi, Cassie.
Hey, Snarkers. Welcome back to the Snarking One. Brittany, what's up?
Curtain call's coming.
Oh, man. You're going dark again. It's season three, episode two. You're changed your Zoom names again, and she just really hammered home the curtain call is coming vibe. Put it down on paper. It's good.
Yeah, well, what do you think? You've legally changed your name to
WTF.
three letters. Hmm.
Yeah, it was either WTF or just straight up fuck off. And so I went with WTF for like a little more zen version of my thoughts,
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
know? Um,
Yes. There's one thing you think of when you make a WTF, it's Zen.
yeah, totally calm
Hmm.
by comparison to what I was thinking. Again, it's all by, you know, comparison.
Know
That's it.
your audience. Put the filter on.
Know your audience. Who is our audience? Who are snarkers?
Are you giving a graduation speech or are you,
Oh, you went
what do
there.
I say?
Oh, God, you're so nasty and I love it.
Deep cut.
Deep cut. Inside jokes upon black. Wow. Yeah. Um, who am I? Who's our snarkers?
What do I say?
How do I encapsulate all my feelings? Um, so Brittany, right before we came on, because we covered a lot of ground in Preppy Prep, you were like, what if the snarking lot is flooded? And then I was like, but seriously though, without getting into super great geographical detail, how you doing down there in southeast Wisconsin? Because you just had like 1,000 year flood or some shit. So
Actually recording from a pontoon boat.
you were not the person that was rescued by the fire department.
No, not
Okay.
yet though. Now it's night. Now we're gonna really take our chances.
Okay, because I have to admit, when I saw the headline that it was a woman from fill in the blank where you live, I was like,
Hmm.
oh,
You're
what if
like
that's
weird,
Brittany?
freakishly long-limbed woman from the Milwaukee area. Clinging to one of her sister, I mean, just a tree after trying to take a kayak out on the river. Yeah, so for people who don't know,
Oh
Southeast
God, so
Wisconsin
bad.
got hammered with some historic
Mm,
some biblical flooding of sorts, apparently. So this is
very
God's fault.
biblical.
Yep. There's rivers are flooded. I'm up on a hill, so I lucked out. Other people, not so much. Flooding in
Yep.
basements, people evacuating houses, stuck in vehicles.
Vehicles literally fully submerged in
Fully
water.
submerged. You can't tell there's one except for a little bit of the top of it.
Just like the
So you're
top.
like, oh, you're seeing a video, and they're like, oh, there's cars submerged, and you're like, are there? Oh, oh, there's a little bit of a white. Oh, there's a little bit of a
There's a
red.
car there. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I read the whole some areas it was only a 500 year flood, and then other areas it was a 1,000 year flood. So, um,
Still God's fault. Yeah.
I said I forget what post it was on Facebook, but it was like maybe this is God. It was some other weather related event on the coast, and it was just like maybe this is God just being like, we're calling it. Like I'm done here. I think you all have been given your shot, and it's time. Hang it up. The curtain call.
I
Maybe
learned
God's like the curtain call.
I learned today that there are people nationally who think Wisconsin is like a weather or climate haven. And I was like, do you not follow the news recently? Like
Hmm.
floods, tornadoes, storms, heat,
Wind, very bad
wind.
wind.
Um, yeah, we haven't had the
Humidity,
snowfall, humidity.
humidities
Like,
are
do
real.
you, if we're the haven, like, oof,
I know, but here's the thing. I have to admit, I have looked up for purposes that shall remain unnamed. What's that like in other states, right? And I come back to like I don't want venomous snakes
right,
also near me. Like so there's like it's like weather and then there's like other natural factors including the
right.
wildlife. And so then I always kind of come back to well maybe Wisconsin isn't that bad, but that said, the weather is terrible though.
Yeah, it's pretty awful
It's
everywhere.
pretty bad.
It's kind of like, yeah, what do you value? Kind of like when you're at a job, like everyone's got a price.
Everyone's got a price.
What bullshit are you willing to put up with?
I'm I am hard no on things that can kill me or my cat, right? So like the venomous snake thing is a serious thing to me.
You like living near bodies of water where there aren't alligators that so like you like being near bodies of water too, where you could go ostensibly by them, let's say like upon something or other, and it would be okay because you're not gonna like come out and get dragged under into the netherworld or lose a
Yes,
limb. You
correct.
like that. Okay, so I hate to break it to you, Florida's out.
Oh, damn it.
I'm sorry. You can't live on top of a swamp. I'm sorry.
Oh,
You're real heartbroken, I know.
I'm starting to
We're
cry.
not taking our talents to Miami. Sorry, LeBron.
Miami. No. To be very clear, like I watched because algorithms are powerful. I watched one too many snake catching videos from Australia, and now my whole like
Well,
sponsored reels on Facebook are like Sunshine Coast snake catchers who are wonderful as business owners for Australia. But I have seen one too many coastal carpet pythons kill people's pets, and so therefore I will never
Australia
go to
is like its
Australia.
own experience between the
It's
spiders.
insane.
Like that's the joke whenever there's some crazy ass animal online, it always cuts to it. People are always like, it's got to be Australia, right? Like
Yeah,
Australia,
like spiders like this, like as
oh,
big as your face.
yes, in the house. And people are like, eh.
And snakes in the house, like seriously kill you venomous snakes, or again like coastal carpet pythons that will like eat your cat type shit.
Kangaroos choke out dogs and stuff there. Try to like, there's been videos of them
Yes, they
trying to
do.
drown dogs in pools and stuff. Like,
Yes,
yeah, it's a lot. It's more Jurassic Park there than a lot of places.
all that said, I'm just
Maybe
gonna say Wisconsin is fine with me.
T-Pain knew what he was thinking about. He wanted a mansion in Wisconsin, and he made it rhyme. He knew.
Well, I mean, gotta be smart about something.
Hmm.
Seriously, I have thought about the trade-offs. Not kidding. Between earthquakes, hurricanes, venomous, venomous and poisonous natural things that can hurt me or my cat. Like like thought about all these things and
There's
come back to, well, Wisconsin, not great, but
not the worst.
it's not the worst either. Yeah, right. Could be a lot worse.
Hmm.
I'm glad you're okay though, because I was texting you, everybody. I was texting her at ungodly early hours,
Mostly
letting her
so
know
she had to
where
find
it
another
was.
podcast host, but
Yeah, if you go down, this podcast is over. So like, not doing
no,
this by myself.
I'm on the door and I'm holding strong.
Seriously, I hope somebody, I hope somebody who has a really good sense of humor who got out of this unscathed does like a
Oh,
Rose on the like Rose and Jack on the door.
I will say in the power community, I saw online a bar who has a location, I believe in West Alice, two
Yes,
locations, I should say.
yes,
They had a thing on, that like this one location, like we know people are hurting or they have no power or they're stuck if you can get out
yeah,
safely and you need stuff like because people's Wi-Fi was out, everything.
right, right.
They're like, come to this location, it opens 11, like you don't have to buy anything, like you could just have like a pop on us, like you can sit there, there's Wi-Fi, there's bathrooms, like you can just come in, no expectation, like we got you. Or they're like, this other location is open at 9 a.m. if you need it sooner than 11, like.
Yep.
And I was like, that's nice. And then the picture they posted along with that was the picture of Rose and Jack. They're like, we recognized during this historic level flooding. And I'm like, all right, I think it was Brass Monkey. I'm like, okay, Brass Monkey.
Yeah,
I
I'm
gotta
just
give
gonna
it to
I
you.
got a golf club a little bit for that
There were
because that's actually funny.
quite a few typos in that thing I want to fix, but I was like, the sentiment is there.
Sentiments there.
Community, that's some mutual aid shit. We're okay. The bars are gonna turn into
Yeah.
emergency centers for people.
Yeah.
Emergency, that's how we know in Wisconsin also. Like
Yes.
your field
Yeah.
hospitals and your
Right?
backup places are going to be your schools and your bars. So Wisconsin is set.
I mean, let's be real. If someone were to try to sacrifice themselves like a Jack, they are not going to freeze to death like Jack
No.
because it is very warm. Summertime.
Yeah, you're going to just inhale like the sewage and all the
Yeah.
manure and
You're totally going to get a variety of infections
oh
from
well.
wading and swimming in this shit, people. But other than that, at least you're alive. Cars can be replaced. You know, as
Right.
long as
Yep.
people don't die, we can all have some levity about Jack in the door
Mm-hmm.
or a lack of Jack in the door.
Mm-hmm. A Jack the store. Yep.
A Jackless door, a rose on a door, a rose
Yep.
door, but not a Jack.
Right. Rosewood. Mhm.
Rose, what? No, you didn't. Oh my God. I feel like these backgrounds for people on YouTube, I feel like these backgrounds really set the tone that we're very serious about our job that is podcasting.
Well, I know you cannot see that I'm rushing past sewer grates that are blown off right
I
now.
know.
No, you would never
I
know.
know. Oh my God. You can't tell that you're on the door, Rose,
Yeah. No.
floating on the door. Oh my God. She's literally doing it. She's making a floating motion with her body. WTF. I'm pointing to my WTF. All right. Well, Brittany, related to 1,000-year flooding, how's your mental health today? I'll check.
Oh, I would say, given the last few minutes of conversation, obviously spectacular.
Obviously, really good. Using humor to deflect how we really feel about things as
Yeah.
usual. Got it.
Hmm.
Doing great. Still riding. I'm still riding the struggle bus. Like it was last time. The struggle
Yeah,
bus
me
is
too.
taking
Oh,
a
I
hard
can't really,
right.
I'm on top of it right now because it's flooded out in some water,
That's
but
true. I'm still inside because it's safe to be inside the struggle bus where I am.
yeah,
Uh,
I'm sitting on top of it like we're about to do like a James Bond or
yeah.
Jason Bourne fight scene here, like on
To
top of
be
the vehicle.
clear, my struggle bus was like chugging along. You know what I mean? You're riding the struggle bus, it's a struggle, but it was like moving forward. And now we're getting some transmission issues, right?
Yeah.
Like it's starting to like chug a little bit, slowing down. It's like, are you, I don't know. Are you saying maybe you should like, so it's starting to have mechanical failure.
Starting to
So
feel like it should be taken in. Hmm.
it needs, it, it does need to be fixed, right?
Yeah.
Even a struggle bus needs some
A tune
repairs
up
every
every
now
now
and
and
then, a
then.
little tune up.
We like an efficient struggle bus.
We like one that has its oil changed, clean filters,
Right.
um, good
Even on the
tires.
struggle bus, someone has to take lead on the project.
That's
Or it
true.
doesn't get done.
Somebody does have to drive it.
Yep.
Somebody does have to be the driver.
Or it
So
doesn't get done.
mm, that's so symbolic of life. Okay. So we're doing great, is what you're saying. I think people
Yeah,
know
I
us by
don't
now
know
that we're being
whatever
sarcastic.
I don't know whatever gives you the impression I'm not. Neither one of us
Uh,
is.
the fact that your name is Curtain Call is coming would not raise any alarm bells.
Shout out to all the theater kids.
What is life?
What do I say?
I forgot to take my antidepressant today. I realized way too late that I forgot to take it. So
Well, good that
whoopsies.
we're on a doomsday podcast episode now. This is good.
Woo, real doozy. We had a good time last time introducing the season, but we're like, hey, you know what?
Let's bring it down a notch.
Let's bring your moods down significantly. All right, so I'm 37, almost 38. Ew. I feel like I'm gonna throw up that I said that out loud. I'm 37, almost 38. Brittany, you are
37, a little bit
37.
fun. 38.
37, a little bit over. Okay. So we are full on elder millennial. We are solid elder millennial. I would argue that like elder millennial is a good like 35 to early 40s. Okay. So we got to thinking the other day, which we kind of did a little bit like in season one about being elder millennials, but I think like we've had a lot of some serious shit throughout our life in community, region, nation, world, right?
I believe the term is an historic event.
Unprecedented.
Yes, these are unprecedented times. There's the podcast title.
Unprecedented. And then nobody listens to it because everyone fucking hates the word unprecedented
It's
at this
just like,
point.
oh God, we're millennials, whatever.
More millennials
Okay, it's a
whining about that
Tuesday,
pandemic. Fucking
right?
millennials talking about the pandemic again. Um, so we thought, let's talk about those like really, I remember exactly where I was when moments happened, primarily throughout the course of an elder millennial's life. Some thoughts on that, how that informs our worldview, let's say, from this late 30s to early 40s perspective, and how that might compare to other generations. Because, Brittany, I'll say it, nobody is saying that other to be clear, you and I are not saying other generations have not had a series of really serious shit throughout their
Correct.
lifetime. We're we were just saying there's kind of a really eclectic mix.
We're not as old as you fuckers, so deal with it. That's what we're saying.
We were talking economic, social, health, weather. Um, how else would you categorize? I mean, just like
Political. I mean, and
political
everything.
upheaval.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I'll just dabble in some assassinations. I don't know. We like to hit across the board.
We get a good smattering. Maybe there's no.
Yeah, it's like a Jackson Pollock painting from what we've experienced.
Our experiences are a Jackson Pollock painting.
It's a little Pollocky up in
I'm
here.
typing this down right now. Our experiences are a Jackson Pollock painting.
A little Pollocky up in here. Mhm.
Okay. Okay. So I have to start by asking you, Brittany. Let's just kick it off with like first what's your earliest memory period? Like what do you think is the first thing you can remember, like, like in your memory bank as a kid, period, regardless of it being an earth-shattering event? Can you picture it in your mind, like kind of one of those
Not
first
like,
few memories you have?
well, not for sure the earliest memory. I mean,
Okay.
I've got random, I don't know, random ones with like either set of grandparents or yeah, I mean, again, I'd probably be 3, 4, maybe,
Three.
definitely 4.
Yeah. Okay.
Preschool. I went to preschool as a 4-year old, so like
Yep.
sometime around there. Like again, they're all kind of out of order, but
Okay.
I don't know, 3,
Makes sense.
4-year old for sure that I can really
Makes
actively
sense.
recall and know that it's not just somebody told me it. Like
Okay.
I can picture the view in my head of
Yeah.
my view at the time. What about you?
Well, the clearest one is I'm laughing at something that's going to come up later. The clearest thing that I can remember as a child is I had surgery to uncross my eyes because I was super cute as a kid when I was 3, which was in 1990. And I distinctly remember my parents, like I can picture it's kind of like white. It's like a lot of white and some yellow haze is like my memory of it. But I distinctly remember my parents walking me to the elevator on the stretcher, like the bed stretcher of like they're gonna take me down, and they wouldn't, unlike now, they wouldn't let parents go any farther than the elevator. So like I'm laying on the bed and they're like, "Bye, I love you," and I'm like screaming at the top of my
Right.
lungs, like, "Please don't take me away from my parents." You know what I mean? Because this is scary, and all I remember is just like doctors and nurses like lining the sides. So
Yeah.
that's like my most vivid 3-year-old memory.
And how much did you get paid for that episode of ER?
Exactly $0. Thank you for asking.
Well, that's the importance of unions, everybody.
It is the importance of unions. And you want to know a funny thing about my uncle who came to visit me is that he is a little queasy guy, depending on the situation. And he saw how red my eyes were after said surgery and almost threw up.
He got out a crucifix.
So,
It's like, what time does the exorcism start?
what is happening?
Shit.
My eyes have looked beautiful since, uncrossed.
Perfect.
Beautiful,
Delightful.
beautiful. They snip the muscles in your eyes.
Interesting. I
Yes.
don't remember this, but I was told I had apparently, see again, like one, I had a teary eye, like a tear duct that wasn't
Oh,
cooperating, that I had to have like an eye surgery on, but that was at
okay.
like around 1, or they let it go into 1. I have no zero memory.
Zero
Um,
memory.
but like for my medical history and stuff, I was be like, what was that one thing? Like, I don't the earliest thing was the broken arm. No? Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
that, like, yeah, I don't have, I mean, I'm sure it didn't go well. I'm sure.
Sure it didn't
I
go.
good because again, I was told that I like cried at the drop of a hat as a child. Like my
Yeah.
parents took eating shifts in public because I just squealed nonstop. Like someone started a vacuum or would do something. Again, I have no memory of this, but so I can imagine being put somewhere for surgery, probably even a quick one, probably drove a lot of people to drink that day.
What's really fitting is that you're just such a super emotional person now that this all just really
Yeah, I like to get it
checks
out.
out.
I got it out between like one and
Like
two.
you just like dried out your eyes. That was it.
Yeah.
No more.
Well, again, get the exorcism out early, I say. Be efficient. To the extent that the next kid was born and they thought something was wrong with him because he like was quiet. Because they had the perfect specimen, obviously, to go off of.
That's exactly right.
But yeah, I would say my grandparents are. I have another memory of. I've probably got to be like three or four. She did not make it past much, so I've got to be like three. We had a German Shepherd at the time, and I used to take her food, and I like would throw it to her if she missed it, would go in her water, and she would just like look at it, and
Yeah.
look at me. We're standing in the garage. Like again, I've got to be probably three,
Okay.
maybe four.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, amazing
Amazing.
memory. But yeah, there's a lot of like little instances like these
Okay.
little few second things, but they all jumble. But yeah, again, probably three to four.
3 to 4. That makes
Nothing really
sense.
like amazing and unique or anything standing out. I don't have a great cool surgery to uncross my eyes.
Yeah, I mean,
That's fucking awesome.
I mean, I it's just so vivid because I was so
And that's traumatic. Like
hurt.
for a child, like for you to be like strapped to this bed, you probably could just it's your vision's messed up. So like that's
Yeah,
scary. I don't care what hold you are.
yeah.
When your mom and dad aren't there, like they're saying
They
bye to
let
you
him
and you're
go.
just surrounded
And I
by
remember the elevator doors closing, no shit.
yes. Oh my God. And then like right, you're like, I'm not gonna see them again. And now I'm in this like little space with
Yeah,
these strangers I don't know. They're keeping me
yeah.
on this bed. I can't just get up and get away.
Correct.
Like that would not be good.
Correct.
I
But
imagine that was quite
it's three when
traumatic.
that happened. But you want to know world event that I remember most vividly? I realized I was 6.
Okay.
Okay. I distinctly remember my brother was not born yet. This was the summer that my brother was born, but he was not quite born yet. So I was still just little old me watching my little old cartoons by myself in the summertime, and watching cartoons. And then all of a sudden, ba-doop, 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 breaking news, and police are chasing a white Bronco. Okay,
Oof.
all right. So like my first memory of anything I remember related to like national
Hmm.
news events is the O.J. Simpson white Bronco chase and subsequent arrest because it interrupted the very fun television that I was watching. And I can still remember, like, they're showing like news helicopters like flying
Hmm.
over and like recording the thing. So it was like, that's hands down.
Will you watch like the documentaries that have come out in the last few years about it? Or there's another one I think on Netflix that's newer now since he's dead. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
And like
We
you know,
ruined it for you.
you're right. Sorry everybody if you want to know how the
Yeah.
story ends.
No.
And you see some of that footage again now as an adult, and you're just like, what the
I
fuck?
know, right? I know.
Wild.
And then
What?
because I was kind of like, I started watching like Meet the Press super early in my life
Yeah.
and all the things. Like I do remember like seeing news things of the trial and like the,
Hmm.
if the glove don't fit, you have to acquit and like all that
Hmm.
shit. Oh,
Yeah, I
oh,
can
reality.
remember a lot of the stuff because the nightly news would be on at
Yeah.
home, like night. So, you know, whoever, depending on whatever channel, so whatever would be on, like I have memories of like that or, politicians dying or like Mother Teresa dying or like
Yeah.
big penultimate things.
Yes.
Like I can, that's probably when I think I saw like the coverage I remember of the Chase
Yes.
trial was like the clips from the ABC or NBC or CBS Evening News,
Yeah.
like the national news things.
What's your what do you say is the earliest, like, I remember exactly where I was when X happened event? Like, what's in your earliest memory bank, do you think?
Like right when it was happening.
Yeah, real time.
See, that'd be hard. I'd have to go later then, because again, a lot of it I would see like later in the day or like the next day when the news would be on. So,
Okay.
um, or we were like in school or something. And so again,
Sure.
it was during the school year, it would be like later in the day because, we didn't have the phones glued to our hands yet at the time. So like
Oh, we
for those
didn't.
days,
No.
like as a kid, something happened and you'd be like, what?
Right? No, right?
Um, I mean, God, it would be before 9/11. Like I'm thinking one of the elections or again, like,
Okay.
but again, those were happening like those happened like overnight or into
Yeah.
the I guess some of them though, like if I would be watching, like I know I watched in the 90s, and so some of them were declared like that night and you could see it kind of live.
Yeah, they would do some live things with that.
Or that you wouldn't have to go overnight, so you would kind of know where the projected winner for stuff. So like
Right.
elections, um, I guess like I mean truly like probably the most vivid thing happening right at that moment would probably, and I'm going to get into this, but probably be 9/11 because I remember like
Okay.
when TV on and it had happened, but it was like I don't know that the towers had collapsed yet. Like it had happened, but
Yeah.
like obviously the coverage was live versus like
Oh, totally.
storms and other things happening where again, I mean I'm seeing it, but it's like
Totally.
what's happened overnight, and obviously it's
Yeah. I mean,
just days of it.
I remember like cutting into what I was watching, so like that da da da
Mm-hmm.
da. Definitely like updates on the Oklahoma City bombing, which in the
Yes.
mid 90s, and
Yes.
definitely like stuff with, and this isn't like real time, but like with Clinton's transgressions and impeachment,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like the proceedings that they would play for long periods of
Mm-hmm.
time on TV, right? So all that in like the 90s. And again,
Yep.
like you say, before the freaking internet, and like, or before we were using the internet, and definitely before we had like the thing attached to our hand that I'm holding up, which is my cell phone. Um, you know,
They'd have to wheel in the TV. That was like strapped, seatbelt
literally
strapped into the black like
the
stroller.
cart, stroller cart.
Yeah, there were not even just standing
Sure.
TVs in all the rooms or screens. Like, so yeah, I mean, there was no real way to
No.
turn something on. So again, there's like a lot of those things. Yeah, I'd go home and it would be on the news at night. Or an update from the recap of the day would be on the news of like, yes, the
Yep.
court proceedings things, the
Yep.
newest update on impeachment stuff,
Yeah.
storms, trials, like,
Yeah. For sure. Well, okay. So as you were talking, I forget what you said, but it made me think of another thing that I remember in terms of like me really tracking it and being intensely interested in it when it happened the day before I turned 10. The day before my 10th birthday, Princess Diana getting killed
oh
in a car
yeah,
crash. And then
yep,
all of the subsequent shenanigans that followed after that with, how
yep.
and why it happened and all the things.
I
Um,
remember sitting in my room, yes, with the little kind
yeah.
of little like black and white TV, like where these little antennas that my grandparents had like gotten rid of in their sunroom,
Yep.
the little rabbit ears, so a little 6 or 7 inch screen with the dials, and then trying to like move the rabbit ears, manipulate it, but like watching because again, it was like the news coverage, but it was like they just kept repeating it all, so it was like kind of the intro to the 24 hour
Yes.
thing. But I mean, these were again, we had 5 channels growing up. Like I didn't have
Same.
cable, so like these were the same thing. But yes, this going beyond just the CBS Evening News, it was like playing over and over stuff or like new
Yes.
cutting into new things. And yes, sitting there one of those nights, again, it was like later in the day. If so, it must have been the day that it happened, or like, it would have happened like
Yep.
early in the morning,
So
late at
slightly
night for
before
us. So
that,
like that next day.
before we move on to probably our more earth-shattering event, which you cited as 9/11, um, two things. One, John Benet Ramsey's homicide
Yep.
just felt like it was in the news forever,
Yes.
like every day for
Yep.
months and years,
Yep.
to the point that I became obsessed with it because it was on all the time. And then my grandma was like, "You need to stop being obsessed with John Benet Ramsey."
Well, good because it's wild. Like somebody, around our age.
Around,
I
she
mean, we
would be
had
about our age now.
like I mean, I really got into like, yeah, the 48 hours and the day, like all those like
Yeah.
shows really again, I think in the 90s became big. And so that was one where
Yep.
it was like, oh, this just happened. Or they would have constant updates ones, or they would replay them a lot all the time. And it was like, oh, this
Yep.
wasn't something that happened before we were born, or little
Right.
like, oh yeah, we just saw news coverage of
Yeah.
stuff. We're old enough to comprehend what some of this means.
Exactly. And
And
she was an
that's
elder millennial. I mean, like John
yeah,
Bonet, if alive right now, would be
yes.
in our age group, you know,
Yep.
approaching the late 30s if she were still here. So
Right, right.
yeah, definitely. Do you remember your first experience with the internet?
I do. Sixth grade. A
Sixth
couple of the
grade.
classmates were out in the library. There was one computer over
Okay.
in the corner by the windows,
Nice.
like not by the rest of the computers where we played Mario typing in Oregon Trail, but like over
Over
there that
in the
was,
corner by the
yes,
doors?
yes, that was equipped with the internet. And I did not understand, but people were like, oh, let me go look this up on the internet. And so a couple people were allowed to use it because they knew how to do the internet. And I remember looking and I was like, so is this like an online dictionary? Just going to like, it was like for a school project, like printing
Yeah,
something out. And I was like, oh. And I at first I think I thought it was related to the library. Like, oh, we've just like we've scanned like part of the diction, we've scanned part of the encyclopedias and put them on
sure.
line, but then realizing, oh no, you could just go to these like sites,
And what
you
is,
know.
did you even have a concept of what a site was at that point? Like it's
No,
all
because I think
so
it started
natural
out with
now.
like it started out with like going to news. Like it started out because a lot of the school
Yeah,
projects then in middle school too were like go pull all the things that happen on some of these events or like again with the 2000 election like go pull up or like go search for the event and then it'll pull up the news different sites and you can look at it. Like that was like the context of or
yes,
type what you want for the school project and use it like an encyclopedia instead of going to the encyclopedia
yes.
or looking up a book, type in the topic. And then I learned you could play games and then it like yeah. I mean just
Yep.
not I never imagined it like what it is now.
I don't think, how could we even conceive it? Like we would
No.
never, we would not have the information or the processing skills to even like forecast that. Like,
Right. Because if you wanted the information, it was go turn on the TV or
yeah, read a
go to a
book.
library, open a book or a
Literally,
magazine and go find it.
literally go find a hard copy
Yes.
encyclopedia or Time or Newsweek
Yep. Or go
and
read a
figure it out.
newspaper, or go to like the card catalog, go find like the three
Yeah.
books no one's ever opened in the last 50 years on the topic.
Dewey Decimal System, baby.
Hell yeah.
That,
Like,
look at this
little-
Dewey Decimal System. Anybody listening to this who's like younger than, I don't know, 30, do you even know what Dewey Decimal System is? We'll wait. Do, 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 do. Didn't think so. Um,
Like that's how you measure the temperature and the humidity dew point in the morning, right?
love it. So I remember the town librarian teaching my mom and I how to use the internet down at the old library, the small library that's now the Historical Society in our hometown, along the river. And I remember the search engine we used was none other than Ask Jeeves.
Jeeves. Yes.
Isn't that not amazing?
Mm-hmm.
Ask Jeeves. That was a real thing. Just type anything. Type it. You literally like ask Jeeves anything.
Yep.
Literally ask Jeeves a question.
Very much how people use AI now, like Gemini and
Yeah.
different things.
Isn't that
Siri, like
funny?
it was the pre Siri, pre Gemini,
Yep.
pre voice,
Yep. We've
Alexa,
come
whatever.
back to it kind of, right? Like it was kind of that early
Yeah, I mean, literally, you could, and
foundation.
that's what, like for school, like this topic, I need to learn something on this. We're doing a project. I got to learn
Yep.
about this, or, you got to look up whatever the newest things were. Or like you could look up the scores of sports. Kids would do that. Or it's like, yeah, you could look up or read about the
Yep.
recap of something. And it would be quicker. You didn't have to wait for the news segment, the newspaper to come out. You could just go
Yep.
quick,
Go search.
go through, look at the history of like the updates of stuff. So
Yep.
again, if you had weather things, or like we did that a lot for like, again, events for stuff for school, like you could go
Yep.
search through, like they just now have it on all the news things of like timestamp, this is the report. Then here, like
Yep.
2 minutes later, this is the update. You could go back and scroll through the timeline
Exactly.
of
Yeah,
updates.
that was the other thing she taught us was like how to ask Jeeves a question and how to look up the weather.
Yep.
It was like the primary function of the internet was like
Yep.
finding some news stories, like, and super like not very many, just like the
Nope.
key ones. Like not this minuscule go down the rabbit hole
No,
conspiracy
no,
theory
no.
bullshit of today.
It'd be the stuff that was on the nightly news or maybe the local
Exactly.
news. If you could go on the local news
Yep.
websites and be like, or find out, or oh, you heard something on the news and maybe you want to see a little bit more.
Yep.
Because of course they can't really run a lot. They don't do a lot of detailed long form things.
Yep,
So, oh, it covered this, or oh, I missed the news segment. Let me see if there's an article about it.
exactly.
Because this is
Exactly.
pre, unless you were recording with VCR, this is pre TiVo and pre DVR of stuff.
Right?
So, you
God.
know, I
My
missed the
mom
news segment on
recording
this. Let me
things
go
for
see.
TV movies on the VHS.
Yep. Yep.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm. The dial-up internet, and everybody knows the sound. But then, like,
Does everybody know the sound?
well, okay, every millennial is gonna know the sound.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
And figuring out the schedule or like not being on it too long, because of course it would tie up the phone system and then nobody
Man,
could call. But then
busy.
also it was so slow that like if you were gonna try to do something, even not even just like fun and like,
Yeah.
AOL and Hotmail and Messenger and all Yahoo and all the
MSN
shit.
Messenger, baby.
Like just to go on, if you need to go look up something on the internet for school, like it would just take
Yep.
forever.
Forever. And
Here,
it was like,
let me
yep.
tie up the phone line for an hour because I'm trying to search for the I got to collect 3 news stories on this topic I was assigned at
And print them
school.
out. Print them
Yep.
out.
Yep.
Can
And I
we
got to
make
go
the
try
can
and
we make
find
the
it, have
sound?
a page load.
Let's make the sound real quick. Let's make like little versions of the sound. You ready? On
Okay.
three. One, two, three. See? And then you were tying up your phone line.
Yeah.
Isn't
Uh-huh.
that crazy? It was at, and the computer that had internet later toward my middle school years, my grandma, ironically, was the one that like bought the computer and had the dial-up internet connection. She didn't
Or if
use
you
it
wanted it
herself,
slightly
but
faster, you'd have to like stay at school, stay after school, or go in
yes.
earlier. Like especially if you had to, you're fucked if you had to look at like a video for something for school. Like for the amount of time to load that thing, like a 2-minute video.
Oh my God. How did people even have like the patience to download things on Napster or LimeWire? Like I
Oh,
don't understand. Don't understand.
no. Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Crazy. All right. Well, the internet was in full force when I think the thing probably like the pivotal, like you remember exactly where you were, what exactly was going on, the world was forever altered moment. I think we both agree is 9/11.
Hmm.
A lot of things started to happen after 9/11. Um, so you were in eighth grade?
Sure was. And a second hour. Then it was nutrition break.
Same.
I
I
can
was
remember
in
the
ninth
kid.
grade. I was in ninth.
Okay. I can remember I got done with math class, I think.
Huh?
Was it history? No, it wasn't history. I think it was math. Was it English? No, I think it was math.
Yeah.
We had gotten done. We were about to get done, and I can remember the seventh grader who came in and yelled, "We're all gonna die,"
Oh, really?
as like the class was changing out. And I remember nutrition break. So nutrition break was a break, like you could buy snacks from the thing. It was like 10 or 15 minutes. Like you could go sit in the classrooms up in the middle school or like out in the hallway or hang out and do whatever before third and fourth period. And so I went into the next class, which I think it was history. It was history. It was the next class because Mr. Stoffaker, had a, and I don't know if they had wheeled in one already or if there was already one set up because we were going to do something or watch something on the TV, but it was one of the first times I can remember like live TV happening in the classroom. Because
Yep.
again, usually like if they were gonna have a TV in the classroom, like it's because we were gonna watch some VHS of something.
Yep.
Like I never knew if all those TVs could actually hooked up to something and could actually do live TV. But it was live TV on in there. And so it's like 9 something central time. So like both towers had been hit. I forget if one had come down or they
Yes.
both had come down. But like going in there, because I was like, what did they mean? What do you mean we're all gonna die? And like going in there and seeing like CNN was on, and that was actually my first brush with, because again, didn't grow up with that. Like what 24-hour news things actually looked like. Because
Yes.
it was just because then for the next few days, like it started to dwindle with the number of classes, but like for like the next 2.5, 3 days, definitely throughout that was a Tuesday, all throughout the rest of the week. Like there were some classes we just like watched the
Yeah.
coverage
We
the
just
whole
watched it
time
all
in.
week. Totally.
Or it would just, even in the course of like a 40-minute, 45-minute class, it would just keep replaying some of the same segments. And I'm like, do you think today, like, that's hilarious. I'm like, I don't know. Nowadays, I feel like they would never try and traumatize kids. And it's
Right. Yeah,
like I
no.
envisioned to like, I've always wanted to ask people who like saw, because I have friends who saw the Challenger explosion.
Yes.
Ooh, we can talk about Columbia because that'd be shit.
Yes.
That's the next year. But I have friends who were young enough, like 6, 7, 8, who watched the Challenger on live TV because, of course, if anybody doesn't know, like because a
Yep.
teacher was on board, wheeled it in, and it was like during the school year, like wheeled in the TV. Let's watch this teacher go into space and watched it
Yeah.
explode on live TV.
Yep.
And I'm like, it was in the 80s, but I'm like, damn, like, did you then watch it for days on end? Like they just did to us. Like we just got to watch the towers
We
explode
literally just watched it over and over and over
over and
again.
over again. And I like laugh at it now, or I tell some of my younger friends, Gen Z and younger, and I'm like, just imagine,
Yep.
like, they send me shit because they're all born after. And I'm like, no, just imagine, like, for the rest of the week. And like sports were canceled that day, like, but for the rest of the week, you
Yeah.
just have to go into every class, like ag class and everything, and sit there and just watch planes hit towers and people jumping out of the building. And
Yeah. So here's what I'm trying to. So I pulled up the timeline, right?
yeah.
And so I'm looking at the timeline in Eastern time. And so Flight 11
Hmm.
actually hit the North Tower at what and our time would be 7:46 a.m. Okay. So this means that like during first hour, we didn't hear anything, nobody told us anything because
This this is why, like again, you don't have everything strapped to it. We're in class, so like
in class. Yep.
you wouldn't, our phones aren't we don't have smartwatch. Everything's not beeping going off, being like alert, alert, alert.
Yep.
Like I don't
Yep.
know that most. Do you think that any of the teachers? Where were you at? Like, how many
So,
teachers do you think at the moment
but
knew?
this is why I'm trying to get my bearings. So I'll answer that, but here's what I'm trying to get my bearings because I remember exactly how it went down. But
Yeah,
um the flight 175 hit the South Tower at 8:03 a.m., which
just after.
it all happened while we were in first
Is
hour.
this central or is this east? Are these set to
This is
central?
central.
Okay.
I'm telling you it in central by
Yeah.
looking at it in Eastern. So this means that like it was all happening in first hour. And I remember I was in freshman science with Mr. Sternick, and like we just did everything as normal. And I don't think he knew. Like, because I
I don't
mean,
think like
I
people are
don't
gonna
think
be, I'm
he
like, I
knew.
don't think the teachers, because you're busy teaching. And again, people have cell phones, but they're not connected to the internet really yet. Like
Yeah.
kids don't like, you have, you have no idea what's happening if you're like busy teaching a lesson.
Yeah, no, and we weren't, I mean, and he wasn't a big TV guy,
No,
so it
like we
was like
don't
we're
have
doing stuff on
TVs
the board
on.
and like, so it was
We're
just
not
like
all
we're just doing
checking
our
email
thing.
and doing whatever. Like we had
Yeah,
school email as I got into school, but like again, it was
we're
like
just
a
chilling.
school to school one. Like you didn't.
This is like the first like 2 weeks of freshman year of high school for
Yes.
me. Okay. And so I remember though, so it must have all been in first hour, like the first two hit in first hour,
Yep.
and then we came out to go to second hour. And I remember though, you could tell that other staff knew because we came out and it was like so quiet in the hallway. Like it was like the air was sucked out of the school,
Mm.
how it felt to me. It was just quieter. Like you could tell that some people had found out and there was like lots of like, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and then we went and they're like, okay, we're not doing like class for the rest of the day. So we went into the big room across from
Yep.
Spanish,
Yep.
just the big open room, and it was just a bunch of us like mixed grades with the TVs on just
Yep.
watching like reporters talk about this shit
Yep.
like all day. So we just sat and watched the news the rest of the day. I mean, we literally, like you say, we watched the
Because
planes over and over and over again strike the towers.
I'm trying to remember them because the one that hit the Pentagon and the one that crashed in Pennsylvania were after that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to remember like if I mean we didn't see it live actually, of course, but like
Right.
I know that there were cutaways of like breaking news, a third plane, but then they were like reporting where
Yep.
the president was, and they were reporting all the
Yeah.
flights being grounded, and they were reporting on like
Yep.
I remember our history teacher like put up the name Al Qaeda on the board and was like, "This is who they think did it," and I was like, well, "That was fast, wow!" Like this is right at
Yeah.
so third
Oh,
hour
they're right
starts.
because they claimed it, right?
They're
I
like,
mean,
"This is who they think has done it." or whatever. And it was just like the concept of like, wait, what? Because I don't remember. Again, it was probably it was, I know it was on the news. I'm sure I may have seen it, but I don't remember. Was it the 1993 bombings?
Yeah,
World Trade Center?
yes.
Like I don't really remember
I don't remember anything about those either.
that.
So,
I mean,
on this one, you remember there's a, and then they kept showing the image of Bush being told by his chief of staff, like while he's reading to school children in Florida, that a plane has
yeah,
struck the World Trade Center, and he just like keeps reading. Um,
yeah.
you
And then like
know,
usher him out and like where the vice president was and where
yep,
these people are. We grounded like the concept of grounding all the planes across the country.
yep. And then Dulles controllers at Dulles observe an airplane traveling at a high rate of speed. Um, and they believe that was the one that was headed in the direction of the White House. And that's the one, the Flight 93, where the passengers took over and redirected it into the field in Pennsylvania so that it wouldn't strike other targets in Washington, D.C.
Hmm.
Which I was okay. And here's the other thing: we're also engulfed and enthralled in this, right? Because this is like the most major national event we will experience up until this point, and we've experienced a lot of national events since, but it's probably the most like, penultimate during our young years. But I remember becoming so enthralled by the stories of the people on Flight 93, like
Yeah.
Todd Beamer. I'll never forget his name. He was the guy that said, "Let's roll." Like he was the one that helped them plan it. Like we're going to overtake them and we're going to crash this somewhere else. And I remember all, and I can even I'm getting emotional talking about it now. Like, like the fact that like these civilians are like, let's fucking roll. We're gonna do this, right? Like thinking now in 2025 about all this bullshit that people claim about patriotism and all that stuff. And it's like these people were patriots that day, right? They knew they were gonna die.
Hmm.
And they did a beautiful thing, you know? So I was always struck by that. Like that always lingered with me for whatever reason. I don't know, but that like as a child, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Well, and then thinking or like the in the coming days with the rescues and stuff. But then I
Yeah.
remember Saborski like telling, being true,
Mm,
like, because they're like, we're going to pull a lot of people out. And then her being like, the way these have collapsed, it's just pancaked on each other. Like, you're not going to pull out a
yeah,
lot
it's not
of
gonna
people
happen.
who are alive and like brace yourself kind of. But like the physics of this, like, no, 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 you're
Yeah,
not.
not
Like,
gonna
this is going
happen.
to be thousands of people dead. Um, Around there, like, there's going to be very, very few people that they're going to pull out alive, which of course is
Yep,
what happened, but just like, whoa, yeah.
yep.
And
And
then
this
of
was when,
course,
remember, this was when Rudy Giuliani like actually like had like leadership skills. This is how long ago this
well,
was.
yeah, before you start rotting in place, like most of the government, because you're so fucking old, or your brain chip glitches, Mitch McConnell.
You have hair dye dripping down your
Yeah,
cheeks.
right. Like in true
God,
Italian fashion,
you
gotta
know?
darken those roots, baby.
I mean, Jesus Christ, right?
Fuck's sake. Yeah, no, it was so awful. It actually made some people almost likable.
I know. And like, do you remember though, like, and again, my former self, like in the moment, the subsequent things that happened, which we'll talk about, like the wars, right? Like the Afghanistan war and the Iraq war and everything that came after that. I vehemently disagreed with a lot of it and with President George W. Bush at the time. Now in 2025, I'd be like, GWB, come back, my bro. I miss you. Which is crazy, but I mean it. So like if I had to choose, I'd be like, come back. I know, which is gross as your nose is going up, but
Mhm.
um
I
if I had
jump
to
out of the
choose,
building.
if I had to
No,
choose.
I jump out
Um
of the building.
I have to choose.
I'm jumping. I'm falling 100 some
Okay.
floors. Nope.
I just want to be clear. I'm a pragmatist, and I would pick him over
Yeah,
the
I know.
situation.
He's
Um,
million
but
dead
remember
Iraqis. I bet it
though,
different. Hello.
um, but remember the really for at least a brief period of time before the wars really ramped up and like all the political controversy happened. I mean, there was a true sense of national patriotism and coalescing. I would argue, at least that's how it felt. like the appearance to me was that there was some semblance of like unity that we would never experience now. Like there was some
Yeah.
sort of like we're in something together, at least for this brief period. Like, but now it's just like everyone's just like, fuck you, I hate everyone, like we all hate each other, and or at least that's how it appears.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It was so brief, but it was beautiful while
It
it was
was
there.
until right, until they told us to hate all Muslims, and then they were like, okay,
Yes,
yep, we are united in that front as well. Let's do it.
yes, yeah, shit started to get icky, but for the brief
Yeah.
period where it wasn't icky.
Hate these people while we go and enrich our business interests overseas. But hey,
Hey, Halliburton, baby. Anyway,
exactly.
and then
Exactly.
here we are, where like Dick Cheney's kid is rational. Like, can we talk about the cognitive dissonance we're experiencing in like 2022 through 25? Oh,
Well,
I mean, more rational than other
yeah.
countries. You know,
Democrats were all too excited to oblige that.
hey, ah.
That
So
winning strategy.
I remember, and if one of my classmates is ever listening to this, she will remember this. Um, Somber news coverage. We're sitting in the big room that I'm talking about, watching on the carded TV, all
Hmm.
the things,
Hmm.
and everything's very somber.
Hmm.
Yes, we're watching ABC because I remember it was who was the Peter that was on ABC? Peter ABC. Peter Jennings. Peter Jennings.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We were watching Peter Jennings be the anchor, and then he was calling out to correspondents. Correspondent's name I can't remember, but it was like everyone was so somber. Peter Jennings is like, okay, and now I'm gonna go to make up her name. Now I'm gonna go to Ashley, who's down near the site, the Twin Towers. And friend and I are sitting next to each other, and there's a pause, like she can't hear him. So he's like, Ashley, can you hear me? And again, very somber, very dull, very subdued. And she's like, yes, I can, Peter. And she was like the most excited she had been to be a
I've
reporter in her whole fucking life.
I've seen this clip.
And so this friend and I swear, girl, if you're listening to this, you know that we know
I've
that
seen
what I'm
this
talking
clip.
about.
Oh,
We made so many jokes about it. I was just like, yes, I can. Like, so every time we wanted to like make a joke about how we're being too excited about something that we shouldn't be excited about, we were like, yes, I can, Peter.
I've seen this clip, and it's yes, if you know what it's about, like if you know the
You're like, what are you doing? Should not be that excited. Okay. I know this is like you think you're gonna win a Pulitzer or something, but like
right,
you need to
right.
calm down.
This is an historic event, once in a lifetime thing for you to report on.
But
Like you're gonna get your invite for the White House Correspondents' Dinner next year. Yeah, deuces.
I know.
Yeah, but you're
It
like,
was
whoa,
so bad.
whoa.
We talked friend and I talked about it for days on end after it
I
happened.
mean,
Like we could not let it go.
it's like an onion. Like if you didn't know better, or like it's like a sitcom level, or like
Yeah.
one of those like
Yeah.
funny movie. Like it's
Yeah.
just one of those dark
I know.
things.
And she was like holding her earpiece, right? Like I got my
Yes,
earbuds in. She's like holding her earpiece, like, yes, that can't be that. And she turned British for like 3 seconds when she wasn't British, which was also bizarre.
it's a congenital defect.
So the wars started after this.
Yep.
We had the Afghanistan war, which, right, that's where Al Qaeda was. But then we had the Iraq war that Cassie was super spicy about. This is where Cassie gained her political spiciness,
Hmm.
was arguably with the handling of entering the war in Iraq.
Yeah.
Distinctly remember watching planes start to drop bombs and shit
Yes.
sophomore year of high school in Mr. Getsky's history class.
Ugh. Yeah.
Distinctly.
Yep.
So,
I think I can remember it was one of the first ones. I think it was like, was it a Sunday where it first happened?
yes.
Because we were getting ready to go to the birthday party. And
Mm,
I remember catching the news before I walked out, and then they had the news on at the house. And I was like,
yes.
do I have to really? I want to watch the news. Do we have to? Can we
I
just
know.
Can I just not? I want to sit and watch the
I'm
news.
not gonna watch the news. Yeah,
It's
it was
like, why are
March
we there? What?
March 2003.
Yep.
We were
Yep.
going.
We were going to,
Mhm.
I can remember. I can remember. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean details. God, they feel so long ago now. But why I got so spicy was, you know, uh, like unprovoked war. Like you just literally made up shit to go kill Saddam. Like, why don't you just say I want to go kill Saddam because like I want to kill him because he threatened to kill my dad? Like, why don't you just be honest about it? Because like we all know there were no WMDs, baby.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, because after my dad tried to overthrow and fuck around in there, and then
Yeah,
it's weird that the people in that country don't like my dad, so let me go in there.
I know. It was all very juvenile.
Well, and just the setup of that was where I really remember propaganda.
Yeah, for sure.
So the road, look at we got into God, Baghdad so quickly. This is going to be over so quickly. The tearing down, I remember Thomar's class is when they tore down because she did have a TV in the corner there, and we had
Yes.
it on the tearing down of the statue,
Statue.
making it look like everybody was in the streets around there celebrating, and then you
Mm,
pan out and you see the actual photos, and it's like
yeah, no.
you're like, oh wow, this looks like people around like a street performer somewhere. Like
I
it's
know.
just not that deep. This is not
Hmm.
this isn't Red Square filled with people. Like this is
No.
not actually it. But look at us. They hate us for our freedom. Mission accomplished.
I'm gonna take a moment as we're talking about this to give shout outs to people in our high school vicinity classes age groups who valiantly and patriotically served in both the Afghanistan and Iraqi war in various branches of the military. So like totally appreciate what they did and their service and glad that they came home, obviously. Immensely glad that they came. I think part of why I was so mad about it for so long was I was also thinking about these people who are my friends who are going to serve in a war that I thought wasn't necessary, moral, like, pick all of your adjectives, right? So it was never to be like disrespectful to the service of the people, but it was just kind of like, yeah, no, I don't want you to go because like you shouldn't,
No, don't go
you
wars.
know,
Don't do wars.
don't do worse.
Do not be pushing them. Don't do them.
Don't do
I know
them.
is antithetical in this country, but
You know,
no, nothing good comes out of it unless you're a weapons manufacturer. Don't
unless you're
fucking
Dick
do
Cheney.
it. Don't fucking kill people.
I know. I had I have an extended cousin who has now since passed away. Um, but he was almost killed by by a what is it, IED
Mm,
in Iraq. Um, basically stepped as close to on it as we can
yeah.
get, and got severely injured and all the things. A Marine,
Well,
so
I'm
again,
sure,
like,
well taken care of because this country, once they come back, cares about them.
yeah, I know. I mean, I don't. Again, extended cousin, so I can't speak to any of the experiences of like, what did
Oh,
happen
just
when he came home. But
other stories of people. Support the
yeah,
troops until they get back. Just like,
until they're
support
here.
all babies until they're born.
Exactly.
Same,
Oh, so spicy. Look
same
at you.
energy.
Bring in the heat with the same
We care about them
energy.
until they have no use for us in our
Hey,
empire.
you know, again, I'm being clear about my gratitude for the service of
Correct.
people.
But that's what, especially when the people who are voting to send them there have
I know.
really good health care
God, they do.
and like to fly the flag and whatever. I support the troops and whatever. Cool. Then you should when they go get fucked up because of your shit,
Fucked up because of your shit.
so that you want to line your pockets. Really hope you still support them when they come back and need your help. Nope.
Fuck yeah.
Nope.
Fuck yeah.
And they've
Of course not.
sacrificed a lot. Oh, nope. Mm-mm.
I know. Pisses me off.
Now
So
we're just the system.
we were talking. So like we could talk for hours just about Afghanistan and Iraq, but that's not the overall point of this particular pod episode. Um, Realized because Hulu reminded me that it's the 20-year anniversary of Hurricane Katrina this year. So I realized that on the day I was moving my shit into college was the day that Katrina hit the mainland.
Mm.
in the South. And I can't believe it's been 20 years since that time. And I can't believe how fucked up the South still is from Katrina.
Hmm.
Watching a documentary about it on Hulu, a really, really good documentary, which is not mincing words about what happened, why,
Yeah.
when, how, all of the things. But yeah, 20 whole years. I mean, it's just like surreal to think that I was carrying my stuff into my dorm room and like New Orleans is going underwater, you know?
Plus, with the stuff that's happened today, I literally have a few times where I'm like, imagine if this was worse if the lake had come in. Like, let's pretend the storm had come in, like,
Yeah,
damn, on steroids. This on steroids is what
I know.
those quarters felt. Holy crap.
Some of those shots, some of those aerial shots of where levees were supposed to be and were just obliterated are
Hmm.
just mind-numbingly scary.
How far in the water got, how far in the
Yes.
surge came, where you're like, oh, this far out is where the border of the city actually is. But nope,
Yes.
that's all just under, it's covered. You can't even tell that there was stuff there.
I
It's
know.
completely covered. It's
It's completely
completely
covered.
covered.
Completely covered. I mean, people were literally in their attics with water up to their
Yeah.
mouths. And we
Yeah.
just and we herded people like freaking cattle, non-human beings into the fucking dome and the conference center, whatever the hell it was called, and the FEMA director didn't even know which site was which. I mean, there was just so much about it that you could pick apart for again hours.
Yeah. Of
I mean, we didn't give a fuck because it was a bunch of black people, um,
course.
men,
Let's
women, and
wipe it out.
children. You
We'll
know,
develop it into some nice luxury stuff. So I'm just cleaning it out.
yeah, people who had worked their whole lives for like the homes they had built and had their community and then
Hmm.
wasn't affluent enough to care about. I'm putting air quotes around that obviously, but
Right.
absolutely insane. And we haven't learned anything about improving, I don't know, water and sewer
Fuck no.
infrastructure there or anywhere else in the country since.
No, we got people around the world to bomb and kill.
We do. We definitely do, air
That's
quotes.
more important than building any sort of infrastructure to save people when
Right?
disasters hit.
I know, right?
Like, yeah, cool. You lost your house or you're on top of your car waiting to get
Right.
rescued. But we blew up that wedding in this other country
I know. Thank
because there
God we
were
did that.
terrorist aged males there.
Thank
Worth
God we
it.
did that.
We blew up a Doctors Without Borders hospital.
God we
Oopsie
did
poopsie.
that.
But hey,
Oopsie.
there's
Did you
potholes on
just
your street.
did you just say oopsie poopsie
I can distinctly remember where I was when that happened.
when you oopsie poopsied?
Yeah, the Doctors Without Borders one, because I was looking at trying to apply there. I can remember where I was at work
Yep.
at a hospital,
Oh, really? Oh
and
my
that
God.
came across the thing, and I went, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, for sure.
And just what the oh well. Oh yeah, we knowingly did it. Ooh, okay. Well, most places that's a crime.
Well, I mean, here and there.
It's kind of seems like something a terrorist would do, but
Sorry.
it's fine because it's the right kind.
I'm not laughing because it's
It's a
funny.
Nobel Peace Prize black president who did it, so I'm sure it's fine.
Oh God, you're being
Also,
so
we're tortured some.
spicy.
Yeah, well,
Look at you.
we tortured some folks.
Hey, so all right, let's add a little levity into the mix. Obama got elected in '08. Do you remember how long we stood in line in the cold to watch Obama give a speech? We were pretty close to him in
Hmm.
Kohl Center. That was fun. It was fun watching history in the making. It's great.
Hmm.
That's about it. That was my moment
Yep.
of levity. Um,
Yep.
because then by the time we were graduating, it was the Great Recession. The bubble
Yes.
burst and everything was great. And it's like you're never gonna get a job after you got this great bachelor's degree. It's fine.
Right. But also, you're not doing your part to hold up the economy.
Yeah. You lazy pieces of shit. You're not doing
Right.
enough. right? I mean, and that was like '07 to '09, right? And I
Yeah, and then
graduated
it
in
went into
'09.
like 2010, 11, 12. Like it still had
Yeah,
effects, and there were mini
for
recessions,
sure.
like housing crises, like people
Unbelievable.
getting fucked over, losing homes.
Like, so now,
I mean,
sorry.
Enron, yes. Well, yeah, I mean, yes. That was when they learned, like, oh, okay, we could just perfect it and have this happen every. Here's the big shift of venture capital owning things, and the goal now, the World Economic Forum, like you will own nothing and you will like it.
He will own nothing. And stop drinking
That's
those Starbucks. And if you stop drinking your Starbucks, then you'll be able to afford everything that you want, you lazy pieces of shit.
right.
Hashtag sarcasm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah,
That's
it's
my,
your
you
fault.
know,
You
that's
voted
one
to
of my resident things that I just can't stand is like, if you just didn't get the one thing that makes you happy once in a while, you would
right.
have
Yep.
$20,000.
You don't deserve to have any sort of happiness
No, you don't.
because you're not working hard enough.
None. You get
Because the
zero.
bank totally wouldn't deny you if you bought a
Right.
some fewer iced coffees. You totally
Right. Those,
wouldn't be
if
denied
I
for a
didn't
home
drink
loan.
those, Fannie and Freddie wouldn't have done what they did, right?
Sure, I know Enron collapsed because we bought too much Starbucks, or like we bought too many iced coffees in various places.
For sure. For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we like literally, like, we can just cruise by this. Look at what we've already said, like in the course of like our early life to early 20s. Like, that's a lot of shit. Can I just say that? Does that seem accurate? Like, that's a lot of stuff.
Why millennials are just like, nowadays.
This is why we're unfazed,
Right.
unfortunately, by a lot of shit.
This is called, yeah, we can compartmentalize the trauma because we've seen some shit.
Compartmentalize the trauma. I'm taking notes as you talk. You're saying a lot of things that can work
I
here.
mean,
Compartmentalize the trauma, you know?
cool, another an historic event, unprecedented, once in a lifetime thing. Okay. They've said that about 30 other things.
I know. Everything's unprecedented if you want it to be, but so
Right. If you just say it until the next thing happens.
2009 though. Remember this little, I called it in our preppy prep. Remember this little baby crisis called swine flu in the fall of '09? You remember that?
I do. We had a little dorm, Merit House,
Yeah.
and we had a swine flu cookout in which a bunch of the guys got 10 pounds of pork and grilled it out because we had a courtyard, and then we watched zombie movies and we were wearing masks. And it was Mifflin. It was the night of Mifflin had ended, and so the guys in the dorm also had a Red Cross flag. They stuck out right at the corner of Park and Dayton, right there, like on the. So you had people stumbling back from this big party,
From
this big block
Mifflin.
party, who were confused because they saw the giant ass American
Wait,
Red Cross
are
flag.
you Mifflin? Isn't Mifflin in the spring? Swine flu happened in the fall, baby.
No, this was in the
What?
spring though that we did this. I think it had gone all the way through
Seriously? Oh my God, that's horrible.
because Noro was also, yes,
Oh, Noro's
happening.
so gross. Oh my
And
God,
then
Noro's the
swine flu
nastiest.
had happened. Yes, so this was like the end of the year kind of cap off thing of let's do a swine flu cookout. So yeah, we were sitting there watching so people wandering back or just stumbling around drunk on a Saturday night or
Oh
also
my
wandering back from an
God.
all-day block party would peek in because you had kind of cut out things in the courtyard so you could peek
No.
in. It wasn't a totally enclosed thing. So people peeping in and being really confused while we're all sitting there in surgical
Oh my
masks, zombie
God.
movies with the smell of pork. And then I'll distinctly remember one guy peeked in and the guys in the dorm were like, well, do you want some hey dude, you want some masks? And he was like, oh no, I'm good. And then he walks away and about 5 seconds later, he's like, never mind, I'm going to Florida next week. Yeah, can I get some? And we gave him masks.
Wow.
I just, yeah.
Remember, like, but see, that's the thing. So I was in the fall of my first journalism job when this like rolled out, right? So like it started to get pretty bad in like October.
So
Super contagious
this is the spring before. This is Mifflin before that because it had
before that.
popped up. There were a few earlier
Oh,
that year, and it had popped up in the
okay.
university because we had had.
Okay.
So this would be your senior year. This is the end of your senior year because
End of the
earlier
senior
that year
year.
had been Noro, and then second semester there were a few cases of
Okay.
swine flu popping up, and then it
Okay.
really got
And it
bad
really
in the
ramped
fall.
up. Because I
Yes.
covered it as a story in my new county where I was doing coverage. Like I called the school district, like, what are you doing for like taking care of kids, sanitizing, like all the things. And then my mom got it and like
Ugh.
legit almost died from it. Like it came super fucking close. Like that was
It
bad
was bad.
shit.
I knew some kids because I had to go get groceries for
Bad
some
shit.
people who had to like quarantine in their place, and
Yeah.
I was, I'm gonna come drop them off and run away.
Yes,
Um,
for
or
sure.
like I'll be at this top, I'm gonna run this down, then I'll go down the bottom of the stairs and you can open your door and I'll say hi. But like, ew, I
For
don't want to be
sure.
around you. Like
For sure.
just but even again, these are healthier college kids. These are runners, like help like hearing them, like seeing how they looked and like hearing their breathing, I was like, dear God. So
Yeah,
I can
no, it's
only
bad.
your mom. Like that's terrifying.
Because she was like, she got really, really, like, I was going to come down to see her. And
Yeah.
she was so sick, and grandma was like, don't come down here because it's like really, really bad. I got to take her to the ER and shit. And like, because I got her medical records for other purposes. Like, I also read,
Yes.
about some of this stuff. And it was just like, yeah, well, she
Jesus.
had bad kidney. I mean, it was like, it took like a lot of her numbers down. It was crazy. Like,
That's
she could barely
wild.
breathe. It was pretty wild. Um, So yeah, that's it, and that's just like a prelude to the fucking pandemic, 11 years later. Just a little teasy tease, no big deal. Okay, but I feel like it's very millennial of us that like we kind of just glazed over Columbine because now we're in 2012 and we're at Sandy Hook.
I mean, come on, we've had so many. Like
It's like they don't even like, but the one we experienced, you were fifth grade, I was sixth grade.
because we
Columbine
started doing
happened.
some of the drills. Like,
We did do
okay,
drills.
so I'll do the drills of like we'll do like there's a code
Yep.
word and then let's all close the door. Everyone's gonna get in this one corner.
Yep.
And I get the point of them, and I'm also like feel like they're coming through, no matter what. But
Yeah. You gotta.
how do you quickly hide entire classes of kids? You really can't. Like,
I know. They gave us
you
like,
know,
I mean, it was a valiant effort at trying to give us some sort of safeguard, but if
right?
someone's
We're
gonna come in
doing
with a AR-15, it ain't gonna matter, you know?
right. But I mean, well, thankfully it did help and they've stopped. So
Yeah, I mean, obviously everything's been cleaned up.
problem solved.
Sandy Hook, and then see, here's the right. So Columbine kicked it all off. We started doing drills, and then like they became more prevalent because we're just sick as a nation. Um, Bowling for Columbine by Michael Moore is actually a great documentary, by the way.
Yes.
It's actually very solid. But then we flash forward to Sandy Hook, right? And obviously nothing has changed. Like you say, like we have a gajillion of them. We're only talking about two that we like distinctly remember. I mean, how many between schools and nightclubs and,
Oh yeah.
malls and
Anything, just anywhere.
shit.
The one here in Wisconsin, it was a domestic thing, it turned out, but the
Yeah.
the spa in Brookfield,
Yep.
the one just a few years ago. Well, I think God, it's not a decade yet, I don't think. The one down in Chicago at the hospital,
Yes.
and I'm a couple degrees of separation away from one of the victims. Like it's
Really?
somebody. Yes, because she was in the Serb community and was married or was engaged to somebody else. She was one of
Okay.
the ones in the she happened to be in the elevator when it opened and he was trying to escape. And so she was coming down to fulfill an
Oh
order, something a
no.
pharmacy thing, like wrong place, had no idea. I don't think she had any idea what was happening because he
Oh
had gotten in. It is a domestic thing. It was an ER doc was shot
yes.
or killed or out there out in the thing and he had gone in to say to the hospital and I don't know if he tried anybody else in the waiting room, but was like trying to kind of get through. And so went to
Yeah.
use an elevator and it opens and there was at least this one person in there. I don't know if there was somebody else too, or if he chose or
Oh,
something. I have to go back and look, but she for sure was just killed right on the spot.
wrong place, wrong time.
Yep, and opened up, and I don't think because again, I don't think they definitely didn't have time to do like a lockdown. Like she was going
Right.
down to I think the pharmacy or something, or to come down from the because she'd
Yeah.
gotten a pharmacy request or something. So it was coming down, opens the door or the doors open of the elevator,
Right there.
and he's right there and kills her.
Oh my
And
God.
just
I
the
mean,
one
that's the
here in
thing.
MCW, like there was one they didn't the people didn't know each other, but a nurse coming off night shift. got killed
Yeah.
in there. And I was like, damn, I'm gonna know the doctor probably who has to deal with this. And I
Yeah.
knew one who just got off, and I knew the other one who I know who had to help. And I'm like, or called. So basically, a nurse was walking out into the parking ramp, like off
Yep.
shift at like 1 in the morning, and some guy was in there and killed her.
And this is the I don't operate from a place of anytime I go out, I think I'm gonna get shot and killed in a
Right.
mass shooting. I don't. I don't worry about it. But like also I'm just gonna say, and this is gonna sound real sick, like if one were to start to transpire in a store that I'm in, I would not be surprised. You know?
No,
Like I don't like stay home and like under my covers, like, oh my
correct.
God, like I'm gonna die in a shooting today. But I mean, America is so sick in this respect that I would not be
It
surprised
can
that
happen anywhere. You can be out anything. I mean, at the end to avoid it, you would have to literally just stay inside and never leave.
never
And then
do
an
anything.
asteroid could hit your house, and so whatever.
You know,
Or
a girl can dream.
right. Well, yeah. I mean, it's
Oh,
called fantasy rom-com. What are you talking about?
it sounds really romantic, actually. Thank you for bringing it up.
I know people have been in their house and somebody's had a medical event coming down the driveway on their side and accelerated the car and it's gone into across the
Yeah,
like down gunned it in there because the person driving it was like back down the road had a heart attack, had a medical event. Like
yeah.
that was the parent of somebody I know. Yes. And it like so like accidentally gunned it like down the thing up and over into the house on the other side of the
See,
street. So it's like you can be anything, anything can happen anywhere,
anytime,
anytime.
anytime. But we don't take any measures that we could take in America to try to prevent the mass shootings. We take as close to zero as we possibly can. Like if you have a medical event and you accidentally accelerate your car in a building, that's kind of a freak accident, right? Like you
Right.
can't do
The
anything
odds of
to
it
prevent that.
happening. No.
But
The
what you
odds of
can
it.
do is make sure people can't get AR-15s.
Yeah, but you'd have to work upstream then. And we only talk about it in public health. We don't actually put anything into practice ever.
Oh my God, you're gonna start talking about streams. You're so
Well,
funny.
if you're, because then your job can make you have a cutouts of little streams on the floor during a retreat. And you can put the fish on one part, and then you can talk about moving the fish and having to pick them up and walk across the room to the top part of the stream. And that's upstream, and that's the work we do. And if we fixed
Oh,
it,
I'm
how could
familiar.
we have the streams and the fish
Oh my God,
on the floor
stop. Brittany,
during a snowstorm where we couldn't really get up to the golf course and we should not have gone out anyways, but we had to do it.
okay. Dear God, why? So,
Oh, I thought of another one. It's in the middle. Flint.
oh my God, see?
Well, so Flint being the thing of like learning, like, oh, speaking of infrastructure being shite
That's what I was
everywhere.
gonna say. Like, speaking of shitey infrastructure,
I mean, still not fixed, but also then the reports coming in, I'm like, oh yeah, guess how many other cities around the country have ones that probably just as bad or likely even worse than Flint, like with bad pipes.
oh God, it's so bad. Yeah, I mean, that's still lingering. So that's like a thing that happened, but technically is just still hanging there ongoing.
Mhm.
Now, we had in our preppy prep, we were like, oh yeah, hey, the Boston Marathon bombing. Let's toss that one in there. Um, but then you said, and I quote, escalation of terrible things post 2013,
Hmm.
which shall include but shall not be limited to the 2016 election, um, Epstein's death,
Epstein's murderide, murder side.
murderide, murderside,
Epstein's murder side.
Merside. His Merside happened.
Surder or Surder murdercide.
Murderside.
Now we're the Swedish chef.
Are we in Germany?
Now we're the Swedish chef.
We're the Swedish.
Everywhere.
Um, and then shortly thereafter, COVID starts.
Mhm.
COVID starts. COVID. What do you think? Okay, we could go on for hours. What is your biggest takeaway from COVID?
Um, it'll be hard when they do it if it goes again to get people to fall in line on some things.
Yeah, like
But
take precautions and shit.
yes, but I mean, it's just one more step toward total control. Again, it was one more in a series of things of like using something to then be like, no, this is why we have to do this. Uh, Again, I look at like facial technology and recognition technology
Oh, uh-huh.
that now can suddenly, it comes out that like it only needs to be 6 feet away from you to work. And I'm like, oh, like 6 feet of distancing? Like that was quick. Or like they've adapted to the things very quickly. Or like, oh, we don't want you to wear masks now because it's easier to like recognize you. Or like,
You
it's
sound
it's easier for the scanners. Or we have some things that are supposed to be able to penetrate the mask for facial recognition. Like it just kind of helped usher in more
you sound
terrible.
you sound very MAGA-ish right now, and I know you're not trying to.
Well, no, I'm not cheering on more surveillance because they faked an assassination. Oops, did I say that one? Oh,
Oh, look at you.
hello. Hello.
Hello. Here's
Hello.
Brittany. Brittany, hello.
Hello. I'm not saying that
Twitter
because I got psyoped.
Twitter Brittany is going over. X Twitter. So my biggest thing from COVID, well, you know how I feel about COVID, but my biggest thing about COVID, I think if I had to choose one thing would be that we can politicize anything. Which you're kind of
Yeah.
alluding to, but just
Yeah.
like that wearing a mask or getting a vaccine or things that like any normal human being from like a past generation would be like, okay, yeah, like I mean, collectively we probably should do those things so that it doesn't get worse. We can politicize it to like Republicans fucking don't want to wear masks and Democrats or liberals do, however you want to look at it, right? Like we just turned it political so fast. There was like that brief moment from like March 14th to like April 14th, where people kind of sort of did like the collective, let's all stay home and try to slow the curve or whatever. And then, Trump said, hey, got to be open by Easter, and the rest is history. And I think that ripped the politicization band aid off.
Well, and just the short memories people have, which we've talked about before. But
Mental
okay,
gymnastics.
so we can talk about how some of the pharmaceutical companies acted, but I'm like, but who rushed in? I mean, DARPA
Yeah.
started or was going under Trump. Who's taking credit for the vaccine? Trump. Whose wife you had to show your vaccine cards to get into the parties? Cheryl Hines, RFK Jr.'s wife. Like,
Exactly. Exactly.
again, you want to have it both ways, like whatever.
Yeah.
But also too, just the discussion too of like, well, how can we prevent it? Like, how can we talk about
Mm-hmm.
getting healthier, like maybe to hopefully minimize it. God forbid if you get it, like the different things. Cat's watching a cat act up.
I can just look at my phone now because I have a cat cam.
Yeah, see, breaking
It's like you
news.
disappeared. It was like you poofed into thin air. Anyway, he's
No,
back.
magic.
Um, it's magical.
But
It's so
again,
magical.
even politicizing that, like people being like, well, no, now you're being like
Yeah.
ableist or you're you know, it's eugenics. And I'm like, well, we do this for like the common cold and shit too, of like make sure you're hydrated, get some air, try to exercise some and do stuff. So speaking too of the politicization, I'm like, so we can't even talk about like here's things you could probably do to help so that if you do get you're less likely if you do get it, hopefully your body can fight it a little better and it's not going to
Oh,
be as big of a problem. But like we couldn't talk about that either. And I'm like, Jesus, what the
oh my God. And now RFK is like trying to kill like any mRNA vaccine research, which is just like can help anything from this type of shit to like brain cancer. And so it's just like, are we trying to kill people? Like it just kind of seems like we are, you know?
but yet then they gave a was it $500 million AI mRNA project to Larry Ellison. I think it's Larry
Yeah,
Ellison, like a few months, like
yeah,
right away in the administration. And I'm
for
like,
sure.
oh, we're just like privatizing it for certain people to line their pocket.
Of
Cool.
course. Of
But
course.
also probably not going to have, it's going to be for surveillance. It's not going to be to help cure diseases or prevent things. It's going to be how can we do insidious shit instead of helping people?
Brittany, we cannot, there's so like, we could talk about COVID just one episode, okay? But then we're like, oh my God, like George Floyd was
Yeah.
murdered in August of 2020 in the midst of all of this, right? The rise of talking about police violence, police racism, right? Like all of that in the middle of a global pandemic, just like hit us all in the face with that. Um,
Yeah. A global pandemic that had a lot
wow.
of economic and class
Yes.
issues deeply entrenched,
Yes.
which again makes crime more likely as people get more desperate because they're
Of
hurting.
course. Of course.
What are you going to use to crack down on that?
Of
That
course.
thin blue line, baby.
Oh, such a nice line. Now, not trying to jump away, but here's another I know exactly where I was moment. I know exactly where I was when the January 6th, 2021 Capitol insurrection started to transpire. I was at my desk at work in a Teams meeting with two of my colleagues, and I immediately see one of the colleagues, who is a little more liberal than the other, pick up the phone and go, "What is happening?" And then this person says a little bit, and then I'm like Googling, like, what the hell do you mean? Right. And then
Because
simultaneously,
now
my
we know
husband,
how to do that post sixth grade. We were
we
like, damn,
do, we
know how
know
to
how to
fucking ask
Google.
Jeeves on this shit.
No more Jeeves, baby. I was Googling that shit right away.
Ask
And then
Google in the metaverse.
literally as I'm Googling, my husband's texting me like, crazy shit's going down in DC. Like, it was just like real time, just that was a real time thing. Like as it was literally happening and as news coverage was picking it up live, and it was just like, what is happening? Like, what is that? We're watching people crawl the walls, like we're like, you know, holy shit. And then, I mean, that's 2021. That feels like decades ago now with everything that's happened since then. How do we even say what's happened since then?
Uh, Descent into the end
into, the,
stage capitalism and
into the abyss.
the abyss of an empire.
The
This has to
abyss of
this
an
has to be how like the British Empire looked at the end, right?
I think it's probably pretty damn close.
Where they handed the baton over.
The abyss. Into the abyss.
Eh,
I mean, but that's the thing. And I think we said this last episode and we've said different versions of it before. The fact that we could try to talk about a range of where we've been over the past 35 years and we're kind of just almost shrugging off like, oh, and there was like, you know, attempted coup and like, like we're just like like we're so immune
Desensitized.
and desensitized to crazy. We
Mhm.
really are.
That's why there's all the memes and reels and videos and everything of being like millennials every time the next historic event or unprecedented event
Ugh.
hits. And it's like them just
Yeah,
like somebody
whatever.
just sitting there like sipping a drink and being like,
Yeah.
"Oh."
It's
You're like,
another
but
day
you're
in
so cute.
paradise.
You're so adorable. You didn't watch
Just
the towers fall down 47 times in a week. Okay.
oh god. Yeah, and
You didn't get to watch Tim McVeigh being let in to get, to learn about, you didn't learn what capital punishment was by
oh
watching
my
Tim McVeigh get let in to get killed.
okay, hang on.
Cool.
I'm pulling up the I am 30AF Instagram account right now because I
There's
feel like
got to be some.
there's a couple relevant things I um saw today.
While you do that, I mean, just more weather events,
Oh, weather events.
wildfires, hurricanes, tornadoes. I mean, yes, they were always there, but just like the one right after the other of things. Or
Oh,
it's like, okay, this one happened over here, like Hurricane
yes.
Helene happens over here, but then let's pop over to the other side of the country and like just giant fires just rolling through
Like
California
Los Angeles was just up in flames.
paradise, like just talking, like reading books on that and how quickly things came out of nowhere and people are trying to literally run out before their house starts on fire because it's in their backyard.
I think about that. And then in Wisconsin, just yesterday, today, like
Flooding.
16 inches of rain in less than 24 hours. And, you're trying to like run away before your car gets swallowed up by,
Yep.
it is like God is like, you know what? Pass on y'all. Like you try to let you do your thing and you can't handle it,
We're
you know?
redirecting the aliens away from landing on here. It's no point. Just let themselves get into it. Just let themselves
I
take care of it
mean,
on that
it's
little
just,
rock rotating around in the solar system. Just, I mean, I never remember the air quality being this bad for this
yeah.
in
Did we
across
ever
the
have those
Midwest.
advisories when we were young?
Not before, was it 2023 is the first time I remember. I mean, yes,
Is
I
it?
don't have allergies or respiratory issues. So like, yes, there are certain times of the year that are worse. There's always allergies. Again, they're worse or less. You can debate that, or like the trends would be interesting to look at again from all the shit we're pumping into the atmosphere, but
Yeah.
never like, oh, it's hazy out or it smells like smoke when you go outside because of wildfires from another country for days on end. No.
Oh, where you can smell the smoke from another country. That is like I can walk out of my house
Yep.
and smell Canada.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
What?
Because I never, again, the ones out west or even the ones in Colorado or something, like I've never, you knew they were going on and you watched the news, but like you wouldn't know they were if you were in another part of the country because they wouldn't
Right.
smell. But like this, just like a blanket hanging over whole states. I'm just like, oh, okay, this is how we're gonna do this every year then. So it's hot
It
as
is.
balls outside, like Satan's ass crack, and then we're gonna add on
Yeah.
fire. So, or even if it gets cooler out, like the timing this year was impeccable. Like it finally broke in the heat, and then you're like, oh, I can't even open the window because
Because
I
it smells
shouldn't
like
be
smoke.
breathing in stuff. Cool.
Totally.
Awesome.
100%.
Love it. Mm-hmm.
I love everything about it. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
really fun. I think it's really demure, very mindful.
Yeah, it's very cutesy.
It is very cute. It's for sure cutesy. So here's a funny one. This isn't necessarily like catastrophe related, but I did see it today and I giggled. Um, a kid I overheard at the grocery store, quote, I'm gonna get my brain taken out so I can just relax, end quote. Same kid, same.
Sometimes a good lobotomy to scratch
Uh-huh.
that itch is all you need. Just call me Rosemary Kennedy.
Just take it out. Just poke it.
Just a
Poke it.
like the little kind of not the whisks, but they're those other god damn what's the utensil? The kitchen utensil I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Or it's in the end so you can just have that expand as it presses into my head.
Goes
Just
up
yep.
like that.
Like kind of like the little tong things that
The
just
tong
kind of
thing.
type
Yep.
thing. And just little pressures around the different lobe, various parts of the lobe.
Various parts of the lube.
Or just take it out, put it in some water, put it on its little charging dock, its little charging station for a bit.
Okay, so related to how we react to things, rolling my eyes so far back in my head that I make direct eye contact with the goblin that operates me like a marionette.
It's me if I happen to accidentally scroll on social media and
Yeah.
see people's takes or in a lot of meetings or if I read emails.
Yeah. Is it behind, like, when you're off camera on a Zoom, if you were to turn it back on, everyone would see it.
Hmm.
Oops.
There's a little goblin on a nice bike up there. It's usually like has to kick my eyeball back into place.
Think about this time in our lives, like before we had a lot of shit happen, but before like a good chunk of it happened, this brought me some peace thinking about this. Laying in an elementary school nurse's office bed with the lights off while your mom's on her way to pick you up sounds really nice right now. Wouldn't
Hmm.
that be nice? Just be like, I'm sick. Mom, come pick me up.
Yeah.
I would take it.
Like a timeout.
I
Hmm.
would. It would be a lifetime out that I would accept. I'd be like,
Hmm.
yes, mom, come pick me up, feed me some soup. Let's watch some Big Brother together and let's just chillax. You
And I'll
know,
go to school tomorrow. We can put on the prices right. Hmm.
fuck yeah, we can watch some Passions.
There you go.
It's my favorite soap opera that I watch with my mom
Maybe we'll get interrupted with some OJ trial coverage. Yep.
now. Like OJ was riding that fucking Bronco like less than a month before my mom popped out my younger brother. So
It's
very
crazy.
close in time. Hang on. And this one just made me giggle. Like it's just kind of, I don't know, unrelated but giggly. An app where you can transfer your imposter syndrome to people who shouldn't be in positions of power.
Ooh. I have some leaders and former managers It's my Schindler's List. They make the list for sure.
And then,
Forget knocking them down a peg. We're cutting the ladder in half, motherfuckers.
yeah, I mean the peg's gone. Here's one you'll appreciate as someone who has inner rage, I think.
Inner.
Um, or
I just talked about
mentality
sawing
rage.
ladders in half to knock people down. Yeah, no, I keep it locked down like a bento box. Let's go.
If the Maps app can warn you about traffic and speed cameras, they should be able to tell you when someone ahead of you is driving like a dickhead. Quote, major asshole ahead. You're still on the fastest route, but if you pass a BMW, get ready to get tailgated.
Yes.
If apps could do that, I would pay
Oh,
for it.
I 100% would subscribe.
I
Yes.
would pay some cold hard cash for that.
Thing would never shut up.
It would be like just dickheads everywhere.
Yeah, no, you're coming up on another person who doesn't seem to know how to operate a public space.
Exactly. Exactly. Dream jobs. And I feel like this is very I am 30AF relatable. Dream jobs. Super viewer, seer who prophesies your doom, old lady who solves crimes in a little English village. Now that sounds
Hell
delightful.
yeah.
But then my favorite, old lady who commits crimes in a little English village.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So this is what I'm talking about. This is the cognitive dissonance that I feel like as people who both experienced no internet and now have experienced the complete clusterfuckery that is the internet. Like, I feel this contributes to our desensitization of what's going on because we can just distract ourselves with what I just did, which is just funny shit that's relatable,
Mm-hmm.
but like it takes us away from like arguably the things we should be taking more seriously.
That's why white women keep the true crime industry
Are you making fun of me for what I was
in
watching this
profit. I
afternoon?
say that as someone else who likes it because we want a little escape during
We
the
want a
day.
little escape. We want a
Someone else is
little
horrible.
distraction.
Or again, to think about and fantasize how we could vanquish our enemies. I don't pretend to know. I'm not projecting. It's fine. Like,
It's fine. There's something cathartic about it. I can't explain it. I wish that it wasn't true, but like when I watch one of those, it's just like, no, there are just way shittier people in the world than I thought, you
well, and then
know?
you start to kind of analyze it and be like, is it nature,
Yeah.
nurture? What makes a person do
What
that?
makes a person
How many
like
people
this?
have like passed on the street who could be
Yeah.
capable of that or have been, and we just don't know about it? Or like, you read the stats and it's like during any time, there's this many to this many serial killers active in the country. And you're like, oh,
Oh,
shit.
interesting.
Or like what? Oh, it's like the trigger. It's like the thing that flips the switch.
It's mostly I think in the case of male, like, well, most are serial killers are dudes, obviously.
Who's
Um,
first getting caught?
yeah. I mean, it's honestly being sexually assaulted as children, typically. Like most of those like have some roots in like
Mm-hmm.
sexual abuse of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't want serial killers, don't sexually abuse children.
And
Just a
make it
thought.
more acceptable for people to come forward and
Yeah,
talk
that too.
about it
Yeah,
if
for
they're
sure.
dudes. So that way we could, yeah, help and they don't have to sit with it and let it
Yeah,
fester. And
yeah.
it potentially can come out, not saying that everybody who does that automatically will become serial killers, no, but
No, but
uh,
it's a likelihood.
be more open to helping people.
Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't it nice to
Work
be in a
upstream.
society? Wouldn't
Well,
it be nice to work in an upstream society where like things actually do get taken care of as you go upstream?
mhm.
That'd be crazy. That'd be some
Help,
crazy awesome shit.
mhm. Help a lot of
So,
people.
can you think of anything before we head to our last section? My brain is empty. I can't think at
I
all
don't
right
think of anything. No,
cannot
never.
think at all. That we've missed as you were thinking back, where you're like, oh no, that big thing, because there's so much.
People can type in the comments.
Hit it, kids. Tell us
Yeah,
what you think.
seriously.
Hit the
You can ask
comments.
that post the podcast. I mean, again, tons of event here, insert political thing here, insert.
Yeah, the Columbia thing you brought up, I do remember where I was when Columbia happened, and
Me
I think you
too.
were there too. And it was
Yep.
a forensics meet.
Verona.
Trauma,
Because
baby.
Verona, a nicer school district, had TVs in the commons
In the
area, like flat
commons
screens
area.
hanging. I got out of one of my rounds and I came back and I'm like, oh, CNN is on, which is
Yep,
always a bad sign. Um,
totally.
red flag. And I was like, what? Like, what are we? Because at first, I'll be honest, like I saw something. I had it had already they had deemed it had already
Happened.
exploded, but they were showing something, and I was like, wow, are they replaying like a Challenger documentary or something? Like
I
I
thought the same thing.
and then I was like looking at the ticker and like they're talking, and then they have people on. I'm like, oh,
Oh,
oh no, this is one that just happened. Oh my, February. It was like February of.
it was February 1st of '03. So you were a freshman and I was a sophomore.
Yep, first forensics meet of the year. I was like, damn, wow, I really set a good precedent here.
Damn kids.
Fuck.
This was
But
before I was doing extemp too. Like, I mean, it would have been pretty ironic if I was doing extemp, like, here's major news moment happening in the moment, but I was a radio speaker. It's
which still.
relevant, but
Yes, but you couldn't quite extemporaneously talk about
could not.
that. But yeah, that was wild.
That was wild. That was great. And then to
It, it, it
like you
brought
say,
me
come
back
out.
to 2011 because again, it would be like, and or 2001, excuse me,
Yep.
like you were coming out because it was like a year and a half after, and while we still had the forensics rounds, I was like, we want to get done so I can go back out and watch.
Yep.
And like sit there waiting for results and watching. It was very much like, okay, here we go again. Like here's the
It
coverage.
did.
We didn't watch it in class the way we did 9/11 that week then, but it was
Right.
the very same of like, okay,
Right.
everybody just wants to kind of get done with like next class or their next round of forensics. That way we can go back out and watch TV.
It was really distracting. I mean, and it wasn't at the level of 9/11, but it was kind of like it was close proximity, like you say, to when it happened.
Yep.
And it was a major event, and it was like it was capturing everyone's attention at the moment because it had literally just happened. And
Yeah.
it was a
And
Saturday, right? Because it's forensic, so
yes.
it's Saturday. It's not school day.
Yeah. So
Uh
it was just a few days past, like not quite to the day, but
right.
coming up just past the anniversary of the Challenger, and then yeah, people being able to be like, oh yeah, I remember when. Now I remember both, or like up the comparisons, or like what happened, what failed, and then like in the coming days, them picking up, showing them recovering pieces
Yep.
of it that had come
Yeah,
back from
and
the
you're right.
atmosphere.
It was like I came out and thought, what are they replaying?
Yeah, I
You
was like, oh,
know?
it's like a okay, because that was like the Challenger's the only one I know of that's
Right.
blown up. Like, oh, okay, or like, what do they discover a new thing? Oh, nope, never
Oh,
mind.
no. Oh, it's another unprecedented thing for us millennials.
And it's not. It would have been after. I saw a different one. I went to the Kennedy Space. That would have been, I think it was after I graduated high school. I went there and you could see one of the it obviously wasn't the Columbia. It was one of the other ones. It was in like you could see it in the hangar being worked on or whatever. Because I think they were getting ready for
Yeah.
some of the last flights on shit. But like you saw, then they drove you around. You're like, hey, there's the platform where like this one took off and this one took off, and you're like, oh, that's where that one where they blew up in the whatever one it was, where they it's before they would take off for the moon landing, but it's the one where they had the pilots in there, like they were testing it, and then it started a fire in
Yes.
there, and they died. Like this is where
Yes.
this happened, and here you can walk over across to the thing for the International Space Station. You can walk over the same. This used to be the old thing where they would take them out before they would get on the buses. So you're walking over the same thing John Glenn did, and then I had the morbid thought of like, oh my God, how many people have died? I'm walking over the same ramp they did. Shit.
That is pretty morbid.
Like,
Yeah, that's a little icky.
and I'm pretty sure they had shit in the museums there, of course, of like some of the exploded stuff. But you're like, oh yeah, I'm looking. I can see the little wing, just the tip of the one standing up
Just
in
the
the hangar
tip.
right there. Like one of the other, I forget if it was Discovery or if it was it was the third one. I forget, but it had come back from something and they're working on it. And I was like, man, what if it goes up again? And what if I see it before it explodes? Like I again, I don't know why as a millennial, you know. Nature versus nurture. Would I always have these morbid thoughts, or is it because I've seen too much shit? Then
I'm
I'm like,
sorry.
what?
I'm back on just the tip because I have a dirty mind. It's fine. Like
Yeah, well,
I just
again, gotta cope somehow. I was like, oh, just my that tip on the
you're way back. I'm way back at just the tip.
in the I forget the hanger, but it's right there. 'Cause it's got they're
Yeah.
like the American flag is the size of a basketball court on the side, and I'm like, okay. How many Nazis have you ever employed at NASA? Hey, what?
Oh gosh, you're
Fuck.
so spicy. Um, locally, I will say something I just thought of because it took so long to solve. So this wasn't like national, but you and I, like it was Wisconsin news. Um, when Brittany Zimmerman was murdered on
Yeah.
campus of UW-Madison.
Yep.
It happened when I was in discussion section for LGBTQ Studies 200, and they were blocking off like the street where she lived and shit on the way home, and you could feel like people were accessing the news, because we were on our computers or
Mhm.
whatever, and so some people were like seeing it as class was going on, and then like I say, the air started to get like sucked out of the room, like as everyone was realizing
Mhm.
what was happening. So yeah, a college student at our campus was came home and was stabbed to death in her apartment in broad daylight
Yeah, during
uh,
the middle of the week, during the day. Like
during
not
the day.
not that it would matter, but not some late night, whatever.
Nope.
No, like
No, it
followed
was
home for
broad
class.
daylight.
Yep.
Broad daylight.
Like
Uh,
middle of the day
it was
during the
literally
week.
like a 120 discussion section or something. Like she
Yeah,
was
it was like the
home.
middle of the day during the week, broad daylight, like
Yeah, it was crazy.
everybody does, is like going home between classes or between work and classes or whatever, just doing your thing.
Yep. Yeah, that was
Um,
crazy. That was crazy. That was my junior year, your sophomore year.
because I remember I'd run by the bike path, like over by the street. It was on Doty, which is it's right
On
over by
Doty
Mifflin. Like it's right there on the edge of campus. And like,
was just
on a house on a street where there's tons of those duplexes and college campus housing.
right.
So like there are people right there
I know. And she right, and it went unsolved for
a while.
14 years.
Because because again, you were like, it's just like rando. Is this somebody you go to school with? Like,
Yeah, it ended up being a homeless man who
yeah,
was in prison later and admitted to it and whatever. But um, I mean, the main thing at the beginning was that 911 dispatch in Dane County fucked up so bad
yeah,
because she called 911 and hung up, and they should have sent an officer immediately to a 911 hang up and didn't. And so there was
yep,
always the wonderment of like, obviously she was pretty brutally injured, but like there was always a wonder of like if someone had gotten there sooner, like could something have changed.
yep.
But that was a big, and that's like I say, it's local, but that one always stuck with me too, because like you say, it was broad daylight, it was like a young woman, and it felt like it could have been any of us, like walking home from class in broad daylight based on how it happened.
Well, and given especially recently with the Idaho, I mean, there had these are
Yeah,
the only cases of stuff of kids getting killed, but with the big one I think in the news right now, of course, is the Idaho 4.
Idaho.
But like
Yep.
that of going like, yeah, anything could happen at
Anytime,
any time. You can be somewhere,
for sure.
just like the luck of someone picks wherever you are.
Yeah. And if someone's mentally ill, it doesn't matter if it's
Yes.
you, like you have nothing to do with it, you
No,
know?
you again are just in the wrong place, usually at the wrong time, which
Exactly.
is shitty. I remember 2 years after that, that's my summer after I graduated college. Speaking of flooding, Lake Delton, I can distinctly remember the house on one of the shores of the lake, and the ground under it is eroding, and the house is just
Yes,
falling in
it
because that
fell in.
fell into the lake. Like it just falls in.
I can remember that now that you say that.
FEMA FEMA got dispatched to Wisconsin. Like that was one of the times I was like, oh my God, like now it's like this is like a hurricane or an earthquake. Now we got them over here.
Yeah,
Like there was
I
like
remember that.
national aid coming in. I mean, I know there'd been other times too, but that's like a distinct one that
So
I
many
remember.
weather events now that you say that, like over time, and they've just escalated
Yeah.
for sure.
But just that one sticks out as one of the worst for like flooding or whatever that
Yeah.
I've seen where I'm like, oh, it's near, I've been like near there before.
Yeah, it just breaks off and just drops
It does. It just like drops down into the water, and you're like, oh my God, that's gonna be like there forever because it's caught on camera. So
Yeah.
somebody whoever had that house, I'm like, oh my God, you're gonna watch that forever.
Ooh,
Like, oof.
God. Okay. Well, I would normally say this has been delightful, but I don't think delightful is the right adjective for this one. This has been a ride.
We're not that damaged. We're not Gen X. Jesus.
That's hilarious. Ah,
You're
those
welcome. It's the forgotten generation. You're welcome. We're thinking of
those
you.
those latchkey sociopaths. We're not them.
No,
Um,
I'm not forgetting you, so you're welcome.
you're
Included.
welcome. You're included. I think we've covered craziest shit in the news. I think we've long covered the craziest shit in the news.
A pretty
Unless you've
good
got,
list.
I mean, unless there's anything popping off other than your 1,000 year flood or anything of late. But I think we kind of hit the high notes.
Yeah.
I feel like we,
Mhm.
you know, went on a little orchestra playing, played a good tune, hit all the notes.
Mhm.
Um, I'm still reading the same book that I'm reading last time because it takes me like 4 years to read books. So the one that I mentioned last time, A Woman of No Importance, I'm still reading. I like it. Did you start anything new, or are you still on the same
Still in the same
adventure?
one.
Still on the
Just done
same
it.
one. Okay.
So
Just your light coffee table reading?
yeah. Well,
Okay.
again, damaged millennial. So
Yeah, I mean, the psyche is just completely eroded at this point. There's
like,
no saving it.
mhm. I mean, the next one after it is a book about the Jim Crow South. So I mean, yeah, we're keeping a good
What?
string of
We're
stuff.
so screwed our minds. Do you have any goals until we meet again?
Not wash away. Um,
It's a good goal.
avoid
I would,
another once in a lifetime event till whenever the fuck we podcast.
I mean, I would like it if you don't get washed away in a flood. So I think that's a
Anything.
good
I mean,
goal.
just anything. Could just people things not happen, please. Take a time out. Go for a water break. Sit down and be dismissed. Hydrate yourself. Like everybody just stop.
Oh God, that dude from last time can fuck right off.
Like, what about you?
Just try to do all the things I need to do, which is kind of hard these days. So just do work, be productive. Always say it, but go on walks. But just, for lack of a better term, keep my shit together. You
Fair,
know,
fair, fair.
just hang in there is the goal. As long as I'm here
Mhm.
and doing the things,
Mhm.
I'll feel accomplished. But more water needs, seriously. We as millennials need to drink more water. I am so dehydrated. It's bad. It's really, really bad.
Treat yourself like a house plant. Water yourself. Feed yourself.
Water, feed yourself. Fed myself
Sunlight.
well.
Mhm.
Myself well. Just need to try. I chugged a bunch of water after I went on my really hot walk this afternoon. So I chugged 2 bottles of water, chugged a Gator. So hanging in there. Chester status update. He is sleeping total face down, like he's suffocating himself. Like, I'm not even convinced
Good.
he's alive at this point.
Much
Like
like
he
children, like they get in a position, you're like, how is that
like I
comfortable
don't
on the
even
spine?
dude, are you even okay? Like, what is wrong with you? He's like
Not a
completely
millennial. Can't
upside down.
sleep like that. We slept like that. We wake up with like four broken bones. And like
I do these days.
my liver popped out of place or something. Like that's
My
not
hips hurt every time I wake up now. I'm almost 38. Each hip
pillow,
hurts when I wake up.
pillow between the legs. It'll keep the spine in line.
Oh God, I know. I got an extra pillow for that exact reason
That's what I've
today.
started to do for several years. Keeps the back and the hips in line.
Keep it all.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. You got
Especially
to
for a
keep it
side
level.
sleeper. Like line that shit up.
Got to keep it level. Gotta
I
keep it level. All right. Um. So, Brittany, would you like to tell everyone kind of the thought process as we venture into the next episodes of the season? Now that we've kind of laid what we will call the foundation.
I'm gonna have some guests on. Get more specific into some of the things we probably discussed in some of these first few episodes. Are we on the 2-1-2-1-2-1 approach?
Yeah, I think we're on the. I think we should probably try the 2-1-2-1. Maybe the three
So
one three one. We'll see.
three
But I
one.
think
So one of these next few ones, next one or two coming up here might have a little
yeah.
guest.
So guess to guess. We would like to talk to somebody we know pretty well. about um, being a teacher pre and post Columbine. My sixth grade, one of my sixth grade teachers, Columbine happened when I was in sixth grade. Um, this person has lots of thoughts on it, and love welcome him, for example. I mean, we do have another connection to someone who was living near the path of Katrina at the time of Katrina. So we'll talk a little bit about
Mhm.
that. We've got lots of options for decided.
We do.
What do you got?
College kind of since it's changed, somebody who went to school more recently
Yeah.
in college versus when we were same campus or like just the college experience.
And pre and post COVID in the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
college
Yep.
years.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yep. How that's affected things.
When we talk about these spoiled, rotten Gen Zers, though, like the kind of campus they're going to now, we were talking about like these pods in frickin' like where we used to eat, where we would just line up with a tray like we were in an elementary school cafeteria and get our
Or
slop.
prison.
Yeah, prison or elementary school or both. And
Both
now they
same
got like
thing.
you got like the pods. It's like, do you want Mexican or do you want Italian? And like I was like, do they even understand they have air conditioners in the dorms?
Oh, fuck. You want to talk about a cinder block of hell.
I'm so bitter. I'm so
You
bitter.
could barely open the windows and like here, let's start in August. Let's move you in. Let's not get you out till mid-May because the weather is totally fine in Wisconsin during.
Remember word association from last time? You said Justin Six and I said diarrhea. Now, is it truly an experience for you to get food poisoning if you don't return to a really hot, sweaty dorm?
Right.
You know,
And crawl into an uncomfortable bed. Hmm.
needed some serious nurses that night.
Or, everybody knows the one good shower out of the four that are in there. And then that happens to be the one when you go back and you're like, oh, okay, it's been a long weekend. Back at
Need a
school, I'm gonna
shitty
take a
shower.
shower to cap off the weekend and like set myself in, get ready for bed. Got the one with the good stays the water's pressure's good, it
Water
stays hot,
pressure's
and you
good.
go to open, you can tell when you walk in the bathroom, reach in the corner, you're like, I know that smell. And you go to turn the curtain aside and you're like, fuck, someone just fucking puked all over in the good shower.
That's
God damn
fucking
it.
vomit in the good shower. Amen, sister.
All over on the wall. I was like, God, fuck.
Do we have? Remember, sorry, we're taking a digression here, but
We
squirrel.
are.
Like, it's okay.
Much
You,
like the
we
floor.
had fucking robes. We would walk down the hall in our robes, and then we would like hang our robes inside the shower while we shower. And it's like, how did that not get drenched with water?
Because the water didn't go very far.
Because it's such shitty water pressure.
Bit of a trickle.
A little trickle. This is
Oh.
something I always thought about. Is like, why is my robe not more wet?
Right. Well, because
You know?
there's no fucking pressure there and the water's not getting very far. You're barely able to huddle under it and cleanse your body.
And then thinking about like what time do I need to shower so that I can get over to Pops to eat my shitty breakfast in enough time to be able to walk to class, right?
Hmm.
So like back up all the time frames. Ah, to be a child again.
That to come back, it's below zero out, and you're like, I just want to be able to go back inside when it's warm. And you come out, and you're like, why is everybody gathered outside the dorm? God damn it, there's a fire alarm.
Oh yeah, God, that was awful.
Wind
Mm,
chill 30 some below. My God, I can't wait to get back from class.
mm.
I'm hot because everything's
Why is
numb.
everyone
And I'm
standing
like,
outside?
why is everybody outside of
Oh
shitty witty?
no.
Oh, and
Fucking
I can hear
Christ.
it, and there's no fire truck there yet. Oh,
Oh my God. What what a time to be alive. You
what a,
know?
what a time.
What a time to be alive at UWS.
Hmm. Hmm.
Brittany, this really has been fun. I'm glad we talked about this because I feel like this is one of the most hopefully relatable episodes for people in our general age vicinity because we have seen a lot.
Yeah, just go back, think these through. When you can't fall asleep early, have it go in a productive direction. Think about all the
Won't get back.
major events you've seen in
Seen
your life.
so much. And don't let any older generation tell you that you have it easy
No,
or
don't
that
let
you
them
haven't seen
invalidate.
shit. Don't let them do that to you. Okay?
Right. Don't let them invalidate the fact that, you're a generation that can't buy a house or afford to do much. And you have no GI Bill to back you up on that. Don't let them take that away from you. The fact that like we are the first generation to be forecasted to live a shorter time, shorter lifetime than the
Previous.
generations before us. Don't let that take away from you. Don't let that give you any hope. No, no.
All right. On that note, do you want to make sure everyone gets their ever classic sign off advice before we go?
It's been real, everybody, especially when you're discussing historical and an historical event of unprecedented levels, because these are unprecedented times and a once in a lifetime, once in a 500 year, but it'll probably be next year too. So, JK, event, just remember, always bring logic to a dumb fight.
Hell yeah. Bye.
Bye.